So in the previous session, we have seen the syntaxes or syntax to create the application server file or to read the application server file from application server to SAP or from SAP to application server. So we have also observed the process of transferring data from SAP to other system or to receive the data from other system to SAP in the form of file. Okay. So these files will be placed in a application server. From the application server, the third party system can read that file by providing, if you provide access to that specific directory nothing but you can assume it as a folder, and also SAP can post the files to directory daily. Okay. Now let's create a program to create a file in application server using SAP program. So what is the transaction code for application server?
11.
AL11 is the transaction code here. So depends on the interface or depends on the receiver. We are going to choose directory and specific folder inside the directory. Okay. Usually basis will create these directory folders. So we are going to use a specific folder to post our file so that the third party system will check for the file in that specific folder. If the file is available, it will select that file. Okay. So usually there will be two folders. One is for the file and one is archive. Once the file processing is completed, the file will be moved from original directory to original folder to archive folder. Okay. Once process is completed. That's what the usual process. That is the usual process. Okay. Now, so what is the default directory? Dir home is the default directory, or if you want a different directory, you have to provide this path. Okay. So let's create a program. If you don't provide any path, it will save the file in default directory. That is this. So you can also access these files using FTP. So we use FileZilla, or there are other tools. So for that we need to have this application server address, this server address and username password. If you have that, you can access these application server folders using some third-party tools like FileZilla and other tools. Okay. Now let's create a program to create one application server file. So I'm creating a program to send sales order data in the form of file interface. So when you execute this program, you are not going to place the file in a third party system. What you will do, what this program will do, this program will keep the file in the application server so that daily the third party system will check for the file in the application server, and if the file is available, that will select the file and post the data to their third party system. Okay. What is our responsibility as a ABAP developer? To keep the file in that specific folder where that third party system is going to check daily, right? So I'm creating a program to select the sales orders by customer. For that, I'm creating a select option. Where is Kunar?
Kunak, sir.
I'm defining a select option. Tell me the syntax to define the select option.
For LB underscore Kunar.
Here you can populate the default values to inputs. So I want to make at least one entry in the select option. So I can validate like this: so underscore is initial. If it is empty, then raise a error message. What is the type I have to use? What is the error message type?
E.
So start of selection. You know how to write the business logic. Let me know how to implement the business logic. First, we need to create helper class, right, for the program, and you need to implement R your logic inside the helper class, and you need to call that class methods here. Do we have any helper classes created earlier? Looks like no. Okay. For now, I'll directly write the join condition here. Select VBAK LM. I'm maintaining some order here. So in the join condition itself, because I'm using inline declaration, right? So it will create one sequence. Otherwise, see, most of the times you need to work with type structures for file output structure, right? So you may need to build one type structure here also, just like file output structure. Since I'm using inline declaration, that file output structure may not be required, but sometimes it is required. You have to build one type structure, just like file layout. What is the first field, second field, third field? VBAP Matner, VBAP Mains are MENG. Also, I'll display some price, net value. I'll display net value and the currency code. Maybe, yeah, this data is enough. If you want, you can join more tables just like this. From VBAK, inner join, VBAP on. When you have more tables, it's better to use alias names instead of direct table names, right? But somehow I feel comfortable with table names. That's it, right? So let's assume this is one method. You need to build the logic inside one method, and now build file upload or file creation in another method, and they call the method here. Okay. Now what is the syntax to create the application server file? Tell me the syntax to create the application server file.
Open dataset.
Okay, we need to use open dataset statement. Okay, please mute. So here you need to provide the file path. For that, I'll just define one variable instead of providing the hard-coded value. I'll use like this app file type local file. I think it is character 128. Okay. Okay. Open dataset and let me pass some value. Okay, my file name is daily sales data. File names are very important because the third party system will check for that exact file name. Okay, even if you post the sales data with a different file name, third party systems cannot identify that file as sales data file, but because they always look for specific file name. Okay, so at the end we are going to use add dates, date and time the file got generated, but the third party systems will check for the file name. Third party systems in the sense I'm talking about middleware. Some middleware tool will pick that file. Directly third party systems are not going to pick that files. Okay, there should be some middleware, for example SAP PI or SAP CPI. So these middlewares will pick that file and provide it to the third party system. So this middleware will act as a file, like it will carry the file, it will accept the file from source and it will convert the file into receiver's acceptable format and provide the data. It is slow. Okay, so open data set, instead of hard coded value I'm using this lv underscore app file. So this is my file name. I'm not providing any path, so it's going to save the data in a dir home default directory. What is the next statement? Open data set and the path in mode. What is the mode you want to use? Text mode or binary mode? I am using text mode. For input or output, I'm creating the file output.
output.
So encoding is default encoding. Now if the file is opened successfully, if sy hyphen subrc equal to 0, then if the file is created, then what is the next step? We have to transfer data to the file. It will, so the statement will create or will open an empty file with this name. Now we have to populate data to the file. So how to populate the data to the file?
Loop.
So loop the data. So my condition is I'm adding a where condition in a loop statement. Why am I adding this where condition? I want to loop only the records where net price is not initial, is not 0. So there should be some price. Then only I want to process that record. Otherwise, I don't want to process the record with 0 value. That's why I have added the condition. Or you can also add more conditions like using and. Okay, just want to show you. I think we never used a where condition in the loop. Now, what is the next step? So now when
Transfer.
we use where condition, right, the loop is not going to repeat all the records, but whatever the records that that is true for this condition, only those records will be processed inside the loop. Okay, so conditional loop processing, right? So transfer. mm, Tell me what is the statement? Work area data
Into file name.
into this application server file. So it will transfer record by record depends on the loop process. So once the loop processing is completed, what is the next step? We need to close the file in the application server, right? So for that, what is the statement? Close data set and the file name. That's it. Once the file processing is completed, just display some message just to provide some information. If there is any error, the else part will display some error message. This else part, open data set else part. Okay. So here I told you, right, whenever the system is generating a file, it will add date also at the end of the each file. So when that file is generated, timestamp also, or at least date. How to add date? Before creating the file, right? We'll do like this. Concatenate lv underscore file s5 hyphen datum into lv underscore same variable. You don't need to use a different variable. You can use the same variable. Separated by underscore. Hyphens are not acceptable file formats, file names. Okay, we can use underscore. Now, every time when the program is executed, right? If today the program is executed, it will generate a file with the daily sales data underscore today's date. Okay. Sometimes we generate timestamp also, including time, or you can add time also, just like s5 hyphen uzdit. Now the file will generated including time. So maintain the text element, activate the program, maintain the text elements and selection text. Let me find some valid customer. So if the customer is available in KN1, that doesn't mean that we should have records in VBAK, right? So we should have some transactions on the customer. Oh, ship to sold to. I think sold to is a customer. So you can take this record, 1000 or any record. So I'll take this one, 94 something to execute the program, create it, provide, or you can also select multiple customers since we are using select option. I'm saving this as variant so that I don't need to select again and again. So it's outbound file. Just save the variant and go back. So we use variant for other purpose also. I'll show you why we use variant. For background jobs, variant is mandatory to provide the input. Now, I'll keep a breakpoint here, execute the program. I'll select the variant, execute the program. F5. So selected some records. How many records? It is selected 13 records, 13 sales data records. Now I'm preparing the file. I'm preparing the file name. F5. So the file is generated with daily sales data underscore date underscore time. So the file name will generates dynamically. Mostly we use this logic. If we have an outbound file program, right? Outbound file interface program, right? Mostly we use this logic to build the file name. Depends on the date and time. Because we don't create same file name again and again. Because we need to know, right? So when that file is generated and what is the date and time, everything. So that's why we add date and time. So now I am opening the file in application server. So subarc is 0, subarc is 0. That's why file should be created in application server with this file name in default directory, because we are not providing the complete directory. We are just passing the file name. F6. Now we are looping the records one by one. What is the issue? Why? Because why we have a short dump? So in statement transfer F2 only, character type data objects are supposed okay. What it is saying? So transfer will accept only character type data object, but we have currency and quantity values, right? It is not accepting. So what is the alternative for that? It can take only character data. Let me change the mode and try. Open file in where is it?
33 cents.
Instead of text mode, let me try binary mode. I told you, right? We have to build a type structure. What we usually do, we define all the fields with some character type data, and we'll populate that final type structure with all these values, including these currencies, values, and everything, right? So I think encoding is not required for binary. Let me try binary. Otherwise, we should build a type structure with character type data, and we need to populate. So for this NETWR, ZMENG, right? We have to define these fields as a character type in this type structure, and we have to populate this data into that final type structure. So let me try again now. I've changed it to binary. Sorry, yeah, mode into binary. So open data set is successful. Now it is accepting, right? In binary mode, even this currency and quantity fields are accepting. Now let me check the data, how it is going to populate to the file. So it will repeat for depends on the condition. Go to sales data. So we have 13 records. How many records are with some values? So looks like all the records have some values. So every record is going to repeat in the loop. So loop processing is completed. Close the file. So file is created. Now let's go to application server AL11. Go to default directory dir home. You can sort by date and time. I'll sort it ascending. Sorry, descending. This one, right? We have two files actually. First time we created the file, but it is failed right at the time of transfer. Which one that would be? This one. This is the recent file which we created. Double click on the file. So is not in text. So it is created in binary format, it seems. But we created this file, but this file is empty. So now what is the alternative? We are not able to view the binary file. Now what is the alternative? Go to the program. Define one type structure. This is the usual process we follow. Take all the fields which you want to transfer to the file. Instead of this, right? What you need to take? Since it's a character data, that is fine. POSNR, that is also character data. Nums is also fine. Nums will also accept, right? Nums types also will accept. We have only issues with the currency and quantity fields. We can take this one also. What is the next field? These are all the practical problems, right? If you use different types of data. Now, uh, what is the next field? ZMENG. Take this field as what is the length? 13 plus 3, 15. We'll take char 15. Mains char 3 type char 3. NETWR char 17 including decimal places, or I'll take 20. What is the other field we need to take? Unit, currency unit. I'll take char 3. End of ty underscore file. define one work area, w underscore file type ty underscore file. Now use this work area to transfer the data. Inside the loop, what can we use? Move corresponding w underscore sales data to w underscore file, because we are using same field names, right? In the type structure and in the data selection. If the field names are different, whatever the field names you are using in the file is different, then use the field to field mapping. Okay. Now check the syntax. So now in place of this work area, right? Use w underscore file and change the mode as text mode, because binary files we are not able to view. Encoding, add encoding, clear work areas once processed, file work area and sales data work area. If you write a simple program, right, it will work. But when we try to implement one real-time scenario, then we're going to face issues with all these kinds of issues. Execute. So data selected, file opened in the application server. So move corresponding to w underscore file. Let's check is the data moved correctly or not. Yeah, data moved correctly. Transfer. Transfer the file to application server. Like this, it will repeat for 13 times because we have 13 records. Let's check the application server file. It is default directory. Open again, A11. Go to home, dir home, and make it descending so that we can sort the data. This one, right? The recent file. So this is the data what we have created. Okay. So here the data looks combined, but actually they are separated because we have taken the exact length, right, as per the data elements. That's why it is populated like this within the exact space. VBLN, item, and material number. Okay. Quantity is 0 and this is the value. I think we have taken incorrect field to select the quantity. So what is the field that is having a quantity? Why target values are 0? This one, order quantity. What is this field? Let me check what is this field. Click on F1, technical settings, KW. MENG, right? How to find field name? Click on F1, go to settings. This is the field name. I'll change the field name to KWMENG. I'll change it in the type structure also. Okay. F8. Go and check the application server. Refresh the directory. One more file is created. Okay. Now quantity is also populating. This is how we are going to create file in application server directory. So some third party middleware or maybe SAP middleware will look for file which is starting with the daily sales data, right? And they'll select the file and process the file and they move this file to archive folder. There is another folder called archive. Once the file processing is completed, they'll move this file to archive folder for future reference might be. Okay. So next time a new file will be posted here. How that will happen? That will automatically happen. Is someone going to execute this program daily to prepare the sales data and to post the file to application server? How this is going to happen? Automatically. So this program should execute every day and it should post daily sales data to that application server so that the other system can pick the data. So how that's going to happen? Someone needs to execute this program daily. Is someone going to execute this program daily at specific point of time? Because I have to create a file in application server daily at 7 p.m. evening 7 p.m. after the sales are closed. So what should we do? Do we need to execute this program manually every day? Let's assume it's a manual process and I am the responsible person to execute this program every day. And due to some busy work, I forgot to execute one day. The file will not create in the application server, right? So for this process, we will automate this process using background job. So how to create the background job? What are the transaction codes to create the background job? We have two transaction codes.
SM.
SM36 is to create the background job. This is to create the background job. SM37 is to monitor the background jobs. So this is to monitor the background jobs. You can enter the background job name if you know the job name, otherwise use star. Here the user who created or who executed that background job. And here the status of the background job. Scheduled means it is not executing now, but it is scheduled for some time. Released means it is released for execution. Job execution is in progress. Active means job is executing. Finished means job execution is completed. Cancelled means for some due to some error, job execution is cancelled. So you can filter job log by dates. So these are the different status: released, finished, right? So let's schedule the job. So you have one shortcut here. Go to program. Where is this execute? Where is this execute in background option? Why I can't find here? Here. Select the variant, program, execute in background. Here you need to schedule the job. You can schedule the job. Immediately means it will execute immediately. only for one time. Date and time, you can set the date and time. Okay. If you go to properties, so these are output properties. So once the job is completed, what is it going to print anything, or we are going to specify that here. This is one of the shortcut. Let's execute now immediately and continue. Now here, immediate, date and time, after executing a specific job, after a event, these are all the job conditions. If it is a one-time job, execute immediately. If you want to schedule it, set the date and time. Set the date, start date and end date. No start after this date, end date. So I don't want to execute after few months. I'll provide that end date here, time and end time. Periodic job. What is periodic job means? Periodic
Right.
job and periodic values. Here in periodic values, you are going to select the frequency of the job execution. Is it a hourly job, daily job, weekly job, monthly job, or any other period? If you click on other period, you can select months, weeks, days, hours, minutes. Okay. Other period, minutes. I'll take 2 minutes. So this job should execute for every 2 minutes. Save, save, and provide that schedule start as today, end date, maybe after I'll take this one as the end date. So the job will not execute after this date. Save, specify complete start time. So it's required start time also. Save. Start date is in past. Why it is in past? Maybe I'll take, okay. The time is already past, I think. I'll select 5. Save, check. Still the start date is in past. Check. Yeah, time it is. The issue is with time because we selected the past time. Now I selected 11, so it should accept, or 10. Check. Save. Now the job is scheduled. What is the job name? Go to star. So sorry, this is to create. Go to SC37 and check the existing job. Sorry,
SM37.
SM37 star. So I'll use schedule status also. Select schedule status also. Execute. So this is our job name. ZDemo sales data outbound. So it is in released status. If you want to execute immediately, release. So this is the job status. So it should start at 10:36 a.m. and it will run for every 2 minutes until March 2nd, right? Usually, if it is a background job, this end date will be like maybe after 2 years or 3 years, depends on the requirement. Okay. Once the job is completed, you can check the job log and output in the spool. Let me execute job immediately. Let me create a job in SM36. This is how, see, the other steps to create a background job. I'll create the job. Job name can be anything. The demo sales job. I'm providing this job name. Where am I in? Am I in 30, not 36, right? Go to SM36. Go to SM36 and create the job. Provide the job name. Start condition. Start condition is date and time. Provide the date and time. It should start at maybe now time is 9:19. I'll make it 09 22 or maybe 22. Yeah, 22 is enough. By that time I'll create. End time is this. Now it's a periodic job, so it's not a one-time job. It should execute. Depends on some time period. So if it should execute hourly, it will execute hourly. Daily, it will execute daily. And if it is weekly, it will execute only once in a week. If you want other period, select other period. I am giving 2 minutes here. So, or 2 minutes or too much. I'll give 60 minutes so that it will execute for every 60 minutes. Save, check, and save the job. Go to steps. In step, what you need to provide? The program name and the variant. What is the variant created for this job? This one, file process. Or you can also select that variant here if it is already created. In step, you have to select the program name and variant name. Variant is the input, right? Save. Actually, you can add multiple programs in the same job. So your job is saved. Now it should execute at 9:22. If we wait for 2 minutes or maybe 1 minute. Now where you can monitor the job?
SM37.
SM37 or in job selection. What is our job name? Daily sales, right? Execute. So this is our job name. Daily sales. This one we created from the program itself. Both are same actually. Only thing is you need to provide the periodic values and you need to select the when it should execute daily, the time. So if you select weekly, it will select, so it will execute the job weekly at that specific time. If you select daily, it will automatically execute the program at that specific time. What is the start condition? 9:22. Let me check what is the system time first. So it depends on the system time. If you go to status, you can see system time. System date is correct. Date is correct. System time is 9:13. Okay, time zone is CET 14. Okay, let me try release manually. Let me close the program here. Let me try it this time. The CET time zone time, 4:44, right? Let me set 4:40. This job is already there, so I'll change it from here, SM37. It is still in schedule status. Go to job log. So it's not yet executed. But let me create one more job to execute immediately instead of waiting for this job to execute. Start condition is immediate. Save. It's immediate job, means one time job. It's not a periodic job. Go to steps. Provide the program name, which you need to schedule in background, and select the variant. Click on save. Go back and save the job. Now go and check SM37. So this job is finished. The scheduling time, we have to identify the exact time. Okay. Looks like the time is in past. Start time is 9:16, but the system time is 9:26. Since it's a training server, there is some conflict in the times. That's why it is not able to trigger, but it will trigger at that some point of time. Okay. Maybe we'll check after 1 hour. So job is finished. Select this job to check the output. Go to job log. So job log will be maintained here. This is message sales data created. This is the message what we created. Okay. If we have error message, if there is any error message raised, job will be in cancel state. Let me force start one error message, or maybe let me raise one error message. I'm making this as, instead of success, I'm making this as error message. Let's check how this program will work. Let me schedule one more time, one more job. Start condition immediate. Step, program name and select the variant name. Click on save. Go back and click on save the job. Now go to SM37. Let me use a demo name. Now if you see, this job is in cancel state. Why? Because error message is raised. Go to job details, maybe sorry, not job details. Go to job log. So where it is stopped? At the error message. Job cancelled after system exception error message. Right? If you want to see more details, you have to go to job log to find out the error. Why the job is cancelled. Right? So in many support projects, this is also one of the primary responsibility. Monitoring the jobs in SM37. If there is any failure in the job, you have to check the job log and find the root cause. Why this job is failed? What is the root cause of the error? We can also debug the background job, not by simply putting the breakpoint. There is some special process. We'll see that in the next session. Okay. If the job is completed successfully, that means this finished. If you want to check the output of this job, go to spool. If there is any spool, when we have a spool output, when we are displaying the ALV reports. If you are displaying the data in the form of ALV, you can see that output in spool. Okay. If you go to job log, you can see the steps. So this is how we schedule the background jobs and monitor the background jobs. So this is how we create application server files and schedule the program in background, so that every day automatically the file will be posted to application server without any manual interaction.